But Douglas, we begin just by saying, I mean, the film sort of took 10 years to complete or so. I mean, it took a really long time to get from its first conception to what we're seeing now. I just wondered what stage you sort of got involved.
So, it was, I think, 7 years from conception to now. And I got involved 2 years ago. So we filmed it 2 summers ago, and it's taken over 120 artists 2 years to paint.
So how did it all work? Did you just shoot scenes like in live action and then they used that as a kind of to then animate, I suppose?
Yeah.
To kind of, yeah.
So we shot it like a normal film, rather quickly. Shot it rather quickly and with on green screen and with very basic sets in 3mm Studios in East London and a little bit in Poland and that studio there. And then they projected every single frame of the movie onto a canvas, and then the artist painted over in the style of Van Gogh and interpreted the scene of every single frame, making $65,000 paintings, which basically effectively created a very sort of fancy flip book. And then you just saw the sort of paint move. Yeah.
Because I mean, it's so sort of gloriously inventive and just looks so beautifully sort of well crafted. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like this before.
Yeah.
Which instantly makes me intrigued, particularly when I do this job and you see so many films that kind of are quite formulaic and you see something completely new. That must have been the case for you as well, to be involved in something that's unlike anything else that's out there.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the pull that got me involved, was the opportunity to make something that had never been done before. And it was completely original. You're right, you watch so many movies and you feel like you've seen it so many times before, but this was really different. Really, really different.
I know a lot of actors don't tend to like seeing themselves on the big screen. How is it watching yourself in this? Because it's sort of you, but you've been painted in the style of Van Gogh. So, I mean, do you still get that same feeling of I'm watching myself on screen, or does it feel there's a bit more of a disconnect?
You can still tell it's you to a certain degree. There is obviously a disconnect because it's painted, but what's enjoyable about that is that you're sharing a performance with another artist, with other artists. So it's not just your interpretation, it was their interpretation of the scene too. So that was fun to see how they had brought things out too.
And have you found that the way you perceive Van Gogh's art has changed after you've
Definitely.
made this?
Before I kind of just knew that he was a very famous artist who was meant to be a bit mad at times, cut off his ear, and that his paintings sold for a lot of money, but I didn't fully appreciate him the way that I do now, having spent time with the script, spent time reading his letters. He wrote many letters, and gone to Amsterdam to the Van Gogh Museum to really look in depth at his work, and it's really moving. He doesn't just paint with what he sees. He paints with emotion. I think people really connect to that.
When you play a real person that's kind of in living memory, there's always this kind of pressure attached because, firstly, they might still be alive, they might see this depiction of them on screen, or they might have surviving family members. But when you play a character like this, and also same with when you played Dan Leno as well, do you almost treat it like fiction? Because there is that period of time that exists between when they were alive and now. Does it give you a bit more freedom to not sort of have to worry so much about the kind of accuracy as such?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to do them justice, and it depends how much material you have. The difference from when I played Boy George to when I played Dan Leno is that there was an incredible amount of video footage of him, and there is very little of Dan Leno. There's one or two recordings which I listened to, and I sort of kind of took his voice from a little bit, and obviously some text. There's things written about him, but it depends how much stuff you have. But I think however much information you have about a character, what you need to do is make sure that it is your own interpretation and you're not just doing a copy, and do as much research as possible, then throw it all away, and then just be present as that person in the scene with the other person. And just let the script pull you through the story. I think that's the best thing you can do. And
just finally, of course, you're working with Kevin Spacey on Gore. Is that filming now?
I wrapped a day and a half ago, 2 days ago.
Oh, wow. So how was that experience? It must be great to work with someone like you.
Yeah, amazing. He's an acting machine. He really is he's phenomenal. Michael Stuhlbarg was incredible. Freya Mabel, Griffin Dunn. He had a really good cast, and we shot in the most amazing locations, but the thing I took away from it most was just the performances that were being delivered on set were really something special. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it finished.
Good. Thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Cheers, pal.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys! Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,